This is a Panasonic SD-ZB2502 BXC automatic bread maker. This is what the box looks like. And once everything's unpacked, as well as a bread maker, we've got a set of instructions and a recipe book, two little pieces of paperwork, a measuring beaker, two different paddles, and this is a measuring spoon for teaspoons and tablespoons. We've decided to replace our old Panasonic machine, which is an SD251, and we've had that at least 16 years. I can't remember exactly how long, but we've decided to go for a more modern machine. So let's take a closer look at the machine. Now the machine has got two lids. This is the top lid, and you'll see there's like a little inspection port there. That is so that you can look down into this hole here, which is a yeast dispenser. This is a fruit dispenser. Now, can you see there's a little button in the back there? That button presses this little toggle and it opens the fruit dispenser. That just slots in there. And also very handy is the fact that all the menu numbers are printed on that top lid there, so you don't have to keep going to the book to remember the number for the menu. As you can see, you can change the crust from dark, medium to light. There's a timer, which is something we've never used, but there is a timer there. You can change the size from extra large, large and medium. And obviously the menu number is used to select the menu for whichever bread type you're making. So if we lift up the main lid, you can see the underside of the fruit dispenser. This is where the yeast comes out. That opens up and drops the yeast through. And then if we look inside the bread maker, this is the pan, and you give that a twist and pull it out. And likewise, to put it back in again, you put it in at an angle and twist it round until it's square, and then the handle drops down. This is the heating element, so that's the thing that gets hot, cooks the bread. So the two paddles of machines that come with this one is the main one that is used for just about every recipe, but this one here is used if you're making rye bread. Now I cannot honestly see us making rye bread, so this is a paddle that you will be using most of the time. If you look underneath, you can see there's a little flat in the middle of the centre there, and the spindle has got a flat on it, so you just line up the two flats and press, and that's it installed. It's as simple as that. The first thing that I'm going to make on this machine is a dough. It's for a French stick, so the machine will actually produce a dough, and then I'll have to take the dough out, shape it, and then bake it in the oven. So this is the recipe section of the instruction book, and it's quite confusing at first when you look at it because there's an awful lot of information on that one page. The way it works is this is a column here under recipe, and then contents are these three columns. These are the actual programs down on the left hand side, so if you go down there it says dough recipes. You'll see we've got 21 there, and French next to it. It's got French sticks there, and it's saying to go to page 31. So the recipe for this is 250 grams of strong white flour, 15 grams of butter, half a teaspoon of salt, 150 millilitres of water, and half a teaspoon of yeast. So you need a reasonable set of scales in order to do this. There's my scales. There's 150 millilitres of water, strong white bread flour, fast action dried yeast, and that's available from most supermarkets, table salt and unsalted butter. So the way that my wife likes to do this is she likes to measure each ingredient out separately, and I do it a different way. So I'm going to put this bread pan on my scales, and I'm going to zero my scales, and I want 250 grams of strong white flour. Now you need to be reasonably accurate, it doesn't need to be perfect. So that's our 250 grams of flour. So now that I've added the flour, I've reset that tare to zero. The next thing we need to do is add the butter. Now if you look on the butter, you can see that it's marked in 50 gram sections. About a third of one of those, which is somewhere around there. There we go, that's near enough, 16 grams. So I've just been silly there and not press the record button when I did the last step. The last step was 150 mils of water. So I measured that accurately in this jug, and I just would like to point out that when I put that into the mixture, it's showing 146 grams. And if you don't have the measuring jug, 1 milliliter is equal to 1 gram. So you can always just go by weight rather than volume. So the last thing that actually goes in this bowl is half a teaspoon of salt. So I'll just measure that into my little spoon there. And that goes into the mixture. I've now put all the ingredients in apart from the yeast. So put that back into the bread maker, pop the lid down and then lift the top lid, and then we want half a teaspoon of yeast. So that's about right. That goes into this hole at the top here. Now, it's taken way longer than it would normally take for me to do this because I've filmed it. So you can see how quick it's going to be if you're not actually filming the process. It's dough and it's French sticks that I want to make, so that's the program is 21. I've got to keep pressing this menu button until it goes to 21. Here, look, and you'll see there's a little icon of a book there. There we go, and it's telling me it's going to be 3 hours and 35 minutes. So I'm going to start it. And it's as simple as that. Now it will go through the process and it will let me know when it's finished making the dough. As the bread maker goes through its process, it lets you know what it's doing. So if you see at the top there, you'll see it says rest, and there's a little black dash underneath that. Now that will move across as the program goes from stage to stage. So the next stage is knead, and I'll come in and video that so you can listen to how loud it is when the pedal's actually moving around inside the machine. That tapping noise that you heard was it actually emptying the yeast into the mixture. So that is fairly loud. So when it does that, that would definitely disturb you if you're in the next room, sir. It's not loud, but you can hear it. Alright, so that's it, just finished its cycle. And there is the dough for the French bread. So I'll just leave them to rise for around 45 minutes or so, and then cook them in the oven. And look at that. That is perfect. So we've got 27 minutes to go. I'm just using the basic dough option to make some naan bread. What I'll do is I'll show you the dough and then I'll show you the finished article. Right, so that's the dough ready. There's the dough. And I've got some cumin seeds in there just in case you're wondering what those specks are. So that needs to be cut into 4 pieces and then rolled into naan breads. So that's 4 naans, very easily made in the bread maker, and they'll go lovely with the curry. So in the pan I've got the ingredients for a large loaf, and I'm using number 2, which is rapid bake. I'm going to go for a medium crust, and I need to select large. And as you can see, the ingredients are altered slightly for medium, large and extra large loaves. There we go, that's 1 hour and 55 minutes up. There's a loaf. If it's just come out of the bread maker, you definitely need a pair of oven gloves to do with this. Just shake the bread, out it comes. One thing you probably won't be aware of if you've never used a bread maker before is the paddle always leaves an imprint in the bread. And when you cut through the bread, you can see that as you get towards the middle. And this bit will have a little line going up in the centre of it, but you kind of get used to that, it's not a big deal. It would be better if the manufacturer made it so that the blade or the paddle always stopped at 90 degrees. There we go, one freshly baked loaf, and there's a gorgeous smell in this kitchen at the moment. The Panasonic SD-ZB2502 automatic bread maker. Now, I think this is a smashing machine. As I said earlier, this is our second Panasonic bread maker. The first one is still working after 16, 17 years, something like that. So these machines are very reliable. It's just a wonderful way to get fresh bread every day. But these machines are so simple to use, and Panasonic I think are the best in the business. That's my opinion anyway. So I think it's an absolutely smashing machine, and if you're interested in fresh bread and want to give it a try, you really will not go wrong with a Panasonic machine, and this one is absolutely brilliant. I'm very impressed with it. I hope you found this review useful, and thank you for watching.